Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello.
How are we all doing? Thank you for coming to our premiere.
What did you guys think of the song? Did you like it?
Gosh, it's crazy to think that it's out.
Right?
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like, I don't know. This is such a big moment, I think, for both of us. With this song, we started Starlight and Wonder last year, which was really because of our collaboration with Iron Mouse for Music Box of Fate and the couple of fun projects we'd worked on together before then. But this was the first thing that we did basically as Starlight and Wonder being a thing, you know? This was the first project that we're like, yeah,
Yeah.
this. And I get to. For me, it's only the second like Vocaloid song I've done. It's the
Well,
second
it's the
time
first
I've.
for me.
Yeah, right. It's the second time I've ever like tuned Miku in something. So we worked really hard and we really didn't expect anything from it, but to get an honorable mention for Miku Expo Song Contest and now to have it out and released with this absolutely stunning music video, it's just I'm freaking
Don't
out,
you guys
trying
think
not
the
to freak
music
out.
video was so pretty? It was so
Oh,
pretty. It was honestly like it was a perfect music video for that kind of song.
yeah. Yeah, I was so lucky to have worked with an incredible team. Everyone who's involved in this was someone who we really specifically wanted to work with, and we were just really lucky that like everyone who we sent the song to kind of fell in love with the song as well and really wanted to be part of the project. And that means the world, really, when you show a song to an artist and you're like, hey, I really think your art would be great for this, because you're kind of nervous, like what if it's not that kind of thing, what if they don't like it? But um for some of them in particular, it was like I don't usually do projects like this, but then I listened to the demo and I fell in love with it so much so that I really want to be involved, and that's just like the highest honor, I think.
Also, kind of in the VTubing world, being able to actually work with like literally all your number one picks, like for a specific project, is kind of like it's kind of rare.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of always need to have, like, at least, like, 3 or 4 backup options in case, like, the one that you want is closed for commissions or whatever.
Hmm.
So, we really, really lucked out with the team.
Yeah, we really did. We really, really did. So I guess if there's anyone here who's not really familiar with who we are or what that song that we just released is, a little bit more backstory. Hi, we are Starlight and Wonder. We're a
I'm
writing.
Wonder. Wait, no, I'm Starlight.
Wait, which one am I? I'm
Oh,
Wonder
no, you've
Miku.
got stars on you too.
I do have stars on
Wonder
me.
Miku.
Yeah, or Wiku. That's
Miku. Oh,
Wiku is someone in my Discord server came up with that yesterday, I think, as like the amalgamation of Wunderiku and Miku together to just Wiku. Uh, so I'm Wunderiku. I'm a songwriter, producer, composer, and I was the lyricist, the vocal synth tuner, and the mixing mastering engineer for this song, In Your World.
and I'm Starlight Daryl. I'm a composer, songwriter, producer, orchestrator, and I did the composition and orchestration for In Your World.
Hehe. We've both mostly been working in the VTuber world for the last 5 years or so. And there's obviously a lot of crossover between VTubing, the vocal synth community, and a lot of other online communities in this space. But I think there's a very special relationship between VTubing and Vocaloid and vocal synth. Whilst they are like different communities, there's so much crossover in that you get a lot of VTubers very commonly doing covers of Vocaloid songs. You have a lot of people who were or still are in the Utaite communities who are also VTubers as well, or became VTubers at some point. So there's this really cool symbiosis between the two spheres, and it's something that I've always wanted to explore more, but never really had, I guess, the confidence to up until very recently. And yeah, after we kind of started Starlight and Wonder, it wasn't too long until the Miku Expo Song Contest was actually announced. And that kind of got us both thinking that maybe we could do something. And I guess we could talk a little bit about where the song came from and how it started. And then it would be nice to maybe, we could have a little watch through and listen through the music video one more time together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what are your memories of how this all started, Daryl?
Well, I mean, I feel like it really started with just kind of because I remember you asking me if I wanted to do Miku Expo Song Contest with you, which of course the answer was going to be hell yeah.
He.
But like I think because I'd visited the UK, I visited your hometown, Birmingham,
Yeah.
and yeah, you guys, I stayed over at Riku's for a couple weeks, and so he figured that while I'm there, why don't we work on the song together? So we kind of got set up in his studio, and I think that was probably one of the first times in a really, 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 really long time that I actually worked on a song with someone else, like in real time, like in the same room. Because like I feel like with being a music producer in kind of the sphere, and we're all kind of scattered across the world. Um, you don't really get many opportunities to actually sit down in person and make a song together on like one computer, like
Yeah.
and I thought that was really special. I felt like well, for one thing, I felt like there were a lot of aspects of the song that would have been really, really annoying to do like remotely.
Yeah.
Um
This
you know what I'm talking
song,
about.
on a technical level, this song was so challenging, just on like how do we physically do it kind of level.
Yeah.
For lots of reasons that we'll get into. But the immediacy of being together in person working on it made those kind of situations and the problems that arrive from those technical issues way easier to kind of manage and to come up with solutions to, and way faster as well. I'm a huge believer in like in-person writing sessions. They're one of my like favorite things to do ever. But yeah, I mean, this was the first time I've ever done it for kind of anything Wonderiku related, I guess. Some of you might know that I do a little bit of writing for like commercial J-pop music and Eurovision stuff, and I do a lot of in-person sessions for those. And there's just something really magical, I think, about being in person with another songwriter and a producer or singers or whoever it might be. And you start from nothing, like from absolute, like maybe you have an idea of something you want to achieve, but you don't fully know yet. And then together you just kind of try and figure out where you're all at that day, what headspace you're in. Oh, bye, Daryl. Hi, Daryl. Hey.
We're so back.
We're so back. We're so back. We are dealing with like ping across an ocean. So, but yeah, so you do Eurovision stuff. Yeah, very, very recently, actually, I had a song that was in Malta's Eurovision national final. and we ended up getting a top 5 placement for that. That was a song that I produced called Brutality Mentality by Matthew Chillier and the After Party. It's really fun. It's really fun. So in those sessions, you get this really amazing kind of thing where, you know, if you're working with people who you share really good chemistry with, then it's kind of like in that time you're able to capture lightning in a bottle in a way that's really hard to do remotely. Even I've done lots of like Zoom writing sessions and I kind of hate them. Like if I'm working remotely, I'd much rather just work on my own and send stuff backwards and forwards in that kind of way. So it was an absolute privilege because obviously like we live in different parts of the world. We very rarely ever get to see each other in person. So being able to do this while Daryl was over here was really special. And yeah, especially useful because of some of the challenges this song faced. I think for some context, it would be really good to have a listen through In Your World together.
Let's do that.
And then we can kind of review some of the things that went on. So let's take this back to the top. And you guys tell us if the volume's okay for the video. And if our volumes are okay as well, actually. I'm just going to put this behind instead of on top of our faces. There we go. That looks much better. Okay, In Your World. Let's have a listen.
Maybe explain things way that I won't stay apart. But deep down, I just wish.
Suika's Miku is just so elegant.
I know.
And the garden fall. And the stage, my home, fading to castle walls.
I love how dreamy Nikta managed to make the video as well. All the particles floating and the sparkles and the digital kind of ones. It's so pretty. So beautiful.
Little Mermaid part.
Yeah. Very Little Mermaid.
My favorite part.
this bit every time. Ascending. I am ascending.
The whole song was just building up to that one moment.
Yeah, that's the payoff.
Also, we resolved the song this time, you guys.
We can resolve music.
Yeah.
That reminds me.
Look at that. We ended on the tonic chord.
I know. That reminds me, actually, very recently, I saw a fairly new reaction video that was that had quite a lot of views to Music Box of Fate. And the guy like stopped listening to the song before the final note of Music Box of Fate resolves, and he was like, "They didn't resolve the song. They didn't. They just didn't do that. Okay." And then like right before he ended the video, he pressed play and he heard the resolution. He was like, "Oh, okay." I just thought that was really funny. But yeah, in your world. Okay. So there's so much to talk about with this. So the idea for this started, like we said, Daryl was coming over to stay with me for a little while she was in the UK. And Miku Expo Song Contest had just been announced. And I had an idea for a song. And it actually wasn't this one. It was for a different song, a different idea that I had for a Miku song for us to do. It was a more big band kind of themed. And that was originally going to be the plan. We were going to kind of like do this idea together. But then one night I was driving back from a gig. And sometimes like when I have late night drives after gigs to keep myself awake, I just like write songs. Like I write melodies and top lines and stuff while I'm driving. And
in your head, right?
Well, no, I sing out loud to myself, basically. That's what keeps me awake.
Okay. That's what you mean.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't open up Logic Pro whilst I'm driving, no. No. So, yeah, I'm just like singing to myself. And this thought kind of like crosses my mind of like, I would love to do that big band track with Daryl. But the thing is, what would be the most Starlight and Wonder song that we could possibly do for a Miku thing? And I thought, well, something orchestral would be that, right? It's like a first thing we do together, an orchestral Miku song. And so I was thinking, like, would it be opera? Would it be like a pop song or a J-pop song with an orchestra? But then I thought about this idea of like doing a kind of Disney musical style song. And I just started kind of like humming ideas to myself. And I got this is where basically the chorus for In Your World I came up with during that drive, with the melody and the lyrics. And I put on a playlist. I was listening to a lot of like The Little Mermaid and Pocahontas and a little bit of like Sleeping Beauty and things like that as well. Some of the older Disney musicals. And through all of that, kind of got that melody. And then the next day, I think I messaged Daryl and I was like, I have another idea for a song we should do. What do you think of doing like a Disney princess musical Miku song? So yeah, what did you think of that, Daryl?
I mean, that is the easiest pitch when it comes to me. It did not take any amount of convincing. And yeah, next thing I knew, we were in your studio writing a Disney princess song.
Yeah. So I had that melody and the lyrics for the chorus and a very basic, rough kind of like chord outline for that section too. And that was our starting point, basically. And from that, we made a lot of early decisions about like what the song would do structurally and how we would kind of make that happen. And one of the biggest things that we wanted to try and do was to capture that like classic Disney song feel, which like in this instance, we're talking a mixture of, I think, the compositional sensibilities of late 80s, early 90s Disney Renaissance songs, but also the orchestration and arrangement sensibilities of some of the earlier kind of 1950s,
Like the
60s,
age.
golden age stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a mixture of kind of golden age and Renaissance Disney stuff. And one of the things that we kind of thought would be a good idea to do was to try and capture how those songs often have a lot of tempo changes, sometimes time signature and feel changes, but they do it so fluidly that you don't really notice. Like, and that's exactly what we want to try to create with this. Now,
Yeah.
that is actually, in many ways, a lot easier to do when you have a real orchestra with a conductor and a real singer.
Well, 'cause,
Programming
like,
this.
these songs are not like back in the golden age, right, of Disney, or like of film scoring in general. Um, it was really rare that, the conductor would be conducting to a metronome, at all.
Yeah.
And so we, naturally, there's a lot of free flowing nature in those older recordings, which are then sort of underscored by the fact that there are intentional, tempo kind of fluctuations throughout.
Mhm. So we decided that if our Miku Disney musical song was going to feel authentic, we would have to try and recreate that, which posed two problems then. One is creating that in a DAW, in a digital audio workstation for the instrumental. And then secondly, programming Miku to also follow that. And at this point, I was working in Pia Pro, not Vocaloid 6. And we encountered issues. Miku, well, Pia Pro, bless its heart, it's free if you get one of the Krypton Lloyd synths, so you can't knock it too much, but it doesn't do tempo changes. Like,
Yeah, we learned that the hard way.
yeah, like you can program tempo changes, but they didn't work properly. Essentially, Miku wouldn't change tempo at the right time, and so we were having to do loads of screwy stuff to try and get it to line up, and it was proving to be such a problem. And in the end, I had to buy Vocaloid 6. There was a deal on at the time, luckily, but I bought Vocaloid 6 purely for this song, which was good in the long run because it's a much more robust program. But Daryl just sent me a little screenshot of some of the tempo changes. I'm going to get this up so you can have a look. So like it's all over our face at the moment, but
Yeah.
on the screen right now, at the top, so is this top line here where it says like 53, 23, 56, 30, 60, all those numbers, those are all tempo changes, right?
Yep.
Yep. So you can see, like, in order to get this to work, I'm going to zoom in even more. In order to get this to work, these numbers that are in the like top left corner, that kind of dark colored row there with like 53, 23, within the space of a bar there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 programmed tempo changes. And then the next bar, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 programmed tempo changes. So this is all to do like the kind of minutia of rallentando. So it's gradually slowing down and then gradually speeding up, accelerandos, to try and capture that organic feeling. But then like the individual sections of songs as well are in different time signatures and feelings as well. So you've got like verse 1, which is in this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, quite steady sort of 4/4. And then in the pre-chorus, you get that like da-ga-da, 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 da-ga-da feeling. So trying to smooth out those transitions was a real challenge. But we kept on coming back to Part of Your World, really, as the kind of the guide on how to do all of that well. Because that song really was the blueprint in many ways. And I feel like if you're familiar with that song and you listen to In Your World, I think you can hear those inspirations for sure.
Miku wants to be a real girl.
She does. She does. So we could potentially go through the song bit by bit now. And maybe kind of break down some of the sections and some of the things that are going on.
Yeah.
So we have this big bombastic intro, which I remember was your suggestion, Daryl. I think the idea being that like this is for a competition, so we want to grab people's attention right away, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's have a listen and then talk us through your thought process for the intro composition. 'So yeah, what were your thoughts?
Well, you've already mentioned the part about having a big bombastic intro. But I guess to kind of dive more into that, I really wanted the intro to kind of feel like almost like a bit of a miniature overture. Um, and also in my opinion, I think the best song intros are the kind that kind of that sort of prepare you for like the rest of the song and will kind of oh have I
It's
are you still alive, Riku? Am I
I
still alive?
I think we're still alive. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you can probably hear my my iPhone disconnecting and reconnecting.
Oh, there you are.
It's not
Okay.
there we go.
He's back. Okay. Yeah, so I think like the best intros are the kind that sort of prepare you for the rest of the song. So I really wanted the intro to kind of both be this big grand entrance that is, befitting of a princess on stage, but also kind of hinting at a bit of an underlying melancholy. Um, certainly no shortage of yearning in the intro, I think.
Yeah,
I think we got that like da 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 like that that reach up to was it a seventh interval? I feel like it was.
mm,
I'll have to play it
yeah,
again because I forgot. But no, yeah, just like those like big reaching kind of like octave jumps. They feel very yearning core to me. And so I
definitely.
thought we should have a few of those in the intro. Um and then it sort of settles down into this like the kind of harp arpeggio, which then brings us over into the verse.
Yeah, and that melody that kind of comes in for the second part of the intro, the da, 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 which is
It should sound familiar if you're into
yeah,
Vocaloid.
some of you might have picked it up. I noticed someone in chat mentioned earlier on. There was Kiro Kontoi mentioned. Was the world Be Mine lyric a play on World Is Mine? Well, hee. So, the way that I love to approach songwriting, and definitely a way that Daryl loves to approach composition as well, is using the language of leitmotifs in certain ways. And this is something that we have both used quite extensively in Daryl in many of her BGM compositions, particularly the extensive discography of Iron Mouse BGMs, where you can hear how these leitmotifs grow and evolve and change context. And for myself, from a lyricist perspective, taking melodies and lyrics that also tie into the language of the songs that are associated with these people, and particularly if you've listened to Under the Stars and The World Outside, my like Hololive EN fan songs, then the references to other songs in there are very important and used in quite emotional ways. And I wanted to take that approach to writing a Miku song too. And to me, like, and I think to many people of a certain generation, World is Mine is kind of feels like the theme song for Miku in many ways. It's very much an old song, so I appreciate that there's like a massive amount of incredible music that's come since then. But like, I don't know, I was of the age where when World is Mine came out and I heard it for the first time, that was like my introduction to Miku. So it has like a very special place for me. And we wanted to pay homage to that. So that melody, that da 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 da, and if you listen to the lyrics that are sung on it as well, Sekai de, it's basically a reference to the very beginning of World is Mine. We changed one of the intervals. So normally you get Sekai de, so it goes down by a whole tone to the flat 7th degree at the last note, and we change it to Sekai de. So it's there. Sekai de, Sekai de. And then we create this descending sequence from it where it repeats and goes down. So we kind of transformed this like very iconic Miku kind of interval into its own melody, basically, and matched those Japanese lyrics, but adding context to it. So it's now Kimi no Sekai de. So it's not just like of the world or in the world. It's like in your world, changing the context of that too. And that's the kind of stuff that just like, yeah, it just makes me happy as a songwriter, you know?
my brain.
Yeah, it tickles my little motif itch. We'll have a little skip through.
That I won't stay apart. But deep down,
Oh yeah, and the talking bits.
I just wish.
So a little bit of the process of how I tune Miku. I sing and perform and record everything myself first. So there are audio files of me doing all of this, like, maybe it's right this way that our worlds stay apart, but deep down, I just... There's whole versions of the song that exist of me doing that.
I didn't know that you actually did the intro part, like a reference recording for the intro part.
Yeah,
I
so...
think we need to hear this.
Nope,
Do you guys want to hear this at some point?
nope, nope. So what I record myself doing it, and then I open it up into Melodyne so I can see the waveform, the pitch line for it. And then I open
Oh my
up,
god, that's so big brained.
and then I open up Vocaloid, and then I basically draw in the pitch line of my voice over the top of Miku's pitch line, to get that same level of kind of expression and the natural feeling of it, and also to actually like put in some of the imperfections into it. I remember like sending early versions of this to some kind of like trusted friends, like Unit Zero and Retro 10 from the Mikuverse podcast. And I remember 10 being like, this is really good. Some Vocaloid listeners will listen to this and say that she's out of tune though. and I'm like, good. I think that's what I want. I think I want Miku to feel like a real person that's like a really good singer, but there's a bit of natural imperfection in there. So yeah. So that's the method. I then also, there's a complicated process afterwards of, I actually do it twice. I do it once in Miku English, and I do it once in Miku's original version 4 voice bank. And then I basically like pick and choose the clearest parts from both and create a master vocal, because sometimes Miku English just doesn't really know how to sing clearly. And sometimes Miku
No.
Japanese doesn't really know how to do certain complex consonant sounds or blend vowels together well. So, but together they form the perfect English Miku. So
You know,
yeah.
this is really fascinating to find out. Since this whole song is kind of pivoted around the idea of Miku wants to um leave the digital world and become a real girl. And so kind of modeling that speech cadence off of a real human voice. And then when you also combine that with the fact that this was created with purely a virtual sampled library orchestra that we're trying to make sound like a real orchestra, with all these kinds of tempo fluctuations. I never realized how hard we cooked.
Yeah, and I think we did actually consider at one point, because obviously both of us have worked a fair bit with Budapest Scoring Orchestra, and we were like, you know,
My
should
orchestra.
we shell out for that for this song? Would it be worth it? And we actually kind of thought that in the spirit of this song and in the spirit of Miku Expo Song Contest as well, I think it's better for the song to be done with a sample library and for us to actually just show on a technical level just how organic we can make this sound with
Mhm.
completely digital tools. And I think it works for that, you know? Because I think if we wanted it to sound completely organic and human, then we just wouldn't have Miku. We'd have a vocalist and we'd send it to Budapest Scoring and we'd have a fully live performance, and it would be amazing. But it'd be amazing for a different reason than what this song is
Mhm.
amazing for. So, yeah, I really like kind of the end result was kind of a result of all of those different thoughts and considerations. So, yeah. Okay. Verse we should go through this a bit speedier, right? So,
Yeah,
verse
maybe.
one and pre-chorus.
Lights go out, had the curtains fall. In the stage, my home, treading to castle walls.
I love that harp part.
Within my memory, if love, those spaces through that magic scream just beyond my
And here's that feel change, tempo change. I remember us being together in the studio trying to get that transition between the verse and the pre-chorus. We worked so hard on that. We did actually rewrite the
I think we
pre-chorus.
spent more time on that than anything else, really.
Yeah, definitely. It was the trickiest thing to get right. And we did actually the original, there was a different pre-chorus melody originally, completely different.
Mm-mm.
Because I think we spent 2 days in the studio working on it together, and I think we had a pre-chorus melody in day one, and then when we came to start up again on day two, I think I came in and I was just like, we need to scrap that pre-chorus and just write something better because it's not doing the thing that it should be doing.
Yeah.
And that's always a tough decision to make. You have to be willing to not be too attached to your creative ideas at that stage and just be willing to be objectively, although I like this, it's not serving its function in the song correctly. So let's do better. And we did the new melody and the chords and the new tempo change and the feel. I can't remember how the hell we worked it out in the end. I feel like we did some mathematical stuff to try and figure it out maybe. to try and
Well, you
like
guys
work.
know my mathematical abilities. So that definitely wasn't me.
I feel like I remember us like opening up like tempo calculators or something
Yeah,
to try
yeah,
and
definitely.
figure out how to do like a
Oh, you know what
metric
it was?
modulation. Yeah.
It was, because at that point, that's where we kind of, move into the 6, like, technically 6/8,
Mm,
feel, but then, like, we didn't want it to feel like it was a really abrupt, like, you're going from, like, um, like, from a more straight feeling to suddenly you've got triplets, right?
yeah.
Um, so yeah, we were using, like, a tempo calculator, to try and figure out the best, like, way to find the middle ground that wouldn't be
Mm.
immediately obvious to the listener.
And in the end, I don't actually know whether the version we worked out with the tempo calculator was what we did. I don't know if we
It
just
was
did it
fun to
based
think
off.
about.
Yeah, I don't know if we just did it off vibes in the end. Like I feel like we might have just vibed it out until it worked and felt right.
Yeah,
Um,
might have.
yeah. Um, there's some really cool moments of like acting in Miku's voice that I really wanted to capture. In musical theater performance, singers can like transition between kind of fully singing and projecting their voice to more spoken delivery to try and convey different emotions. Um, and I really wanted to try and capture that kind of like switching between singing and speaking, but making it feel really natural. And there's a few little moments as like on the word fall doing this kind of like drop off at the end. Oops, give it a little bit more.
Out, have a garden fall
And fall. Just kind of dying away with it there.
in the
And then this bit, like the words "my home." These bits were the bits where like I spent the most time on the tuning to get right because I was matching my spoken pitch, and then also like automating a bunch of Miku's parameters, like bringing in more breath sound into her voice on these spoken parts, so they sound more spoken and natural.
in the stage, my home.
So you can hear more of that like kind of breathy sound in her voice on the words "my home."
Between two castle walls.
And then on the word love as well. It's an important word.
My memory is love.
So on that, like bringing in more of that breathy tone, which kind of like implies that there's some kind of constriction going on in her voice. Like maybe, saying the words like love and thinking that the only thing that's in her memory is love is maybe there's like a melancholiness to that, or there's some kind of like emotional significance. So it's all kind of being done to like serve the story and the storytelling and the emotional performance.
You can, like, literally hear her, like, trying to be a real girl, right?
Right.
Like,
And I
through her voice.
yeah, and I think that's the thing, and that's kind of the concept we wanted to get across, that she's been dreaming of this for a long time. Like in the pre-chorus, you've got the like, I've got every figurine in ones and zeros, every song and magazine I can download. Like I wanted to capture this image of like a Miku who is so in love with how people in the real world love her, and all of the figures and posters and old magazines and all this kind of stuff. And she's like collecting these like digital recreations of all these things, and she's almost like her own little Miku otaku self fan kind of thing. Not doing it because of like an ego, but doing it because it's her connection to her fans, her audience, and the people who she wants to meet for real and be with. And so, yeah, like this idea that this is a Miku who has maybe spent the last like 15 years or whatever, like studying humans, and therefore is like sounds very human as a result. Yeah, the next line, there's a big like, on the word art was another moment where I was really trying to capture that spoken kind of thing.
Then behind every arc is a beating heart.
It's like halfway between being sung and spoken. Like the pitch is intentional, but it's not like being done to actually like hit a specific note kind of thing. Yeah. There's a lot of work in that. Orchestrally, I just think like I feel like I say this everything you do, Daryl, but whenever I hear like the next new thing that you've done, I'm always like, Daryl, I think this is your best work ever. And I think that's just a
Aw.
testament to the fact that like everything you do is always with a view to somehow do something that's even more magical and impressive and special than the last. So
Aw, thank you.
I would love to know your kind of thought process with kind of the orchestration and the timbres and colors that you're choosing and the instruments you're choosing for the different parts.
Well, for the verse specifically, um, I wanted it to, well, because we've just come down from this like big giant bombastic intro that was sort of to signify like Miku was on stage and then she exited stage and she kind of went to her little castle room thing.
Hmm.
Um, so I think one of the most magical things about an orchestra is just like the wide dynamic range that you can get. Um, you know, uh, I feel like that in and of itself can tell so much of the story. So I really wanted to bring it back down in the verse, and just I mean, on one hand, what instrument is prominent during the verse of part of your world? Yes, it is the harp and piano, but I was also thinking, and I promise, I swear this is not cope. I was also thinking that, like, well, what kind of instrument would be like most likely to be present in a princess's room? And I think it's a harp. I think
I
it's a
think
harp.
so.
Yeah. So, I kind of had this image of my head when I was composing that part, and kind of orchestrating it was, um, oh, Miku, like, she went to her room and, now she's kind of, lost in her thoughts and kind of longing for, all the things that she's longing for. And I'm kind of envisioning her like singing about all this while playing an instrument. So, while playing the harp.
Hmm.
Um, like, if this was an actual Disney movie, like, scene, right? Like, that's kind of what was in my head.
I love
Um,
that.
and then, like, you'll hear little bits of, like, woodwinds coming in and out, either, like, as a response to, like, the melody or, kind of sometimes to, accentuate it. And, like, if you go back to the part where she says, like, I've got every figurine in ones and zeros, and then you'll hear like the na 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 na, and then that's what's in my head at that point is she's like talking about her figures, and then like the camera kind of like pans to her like shelves or something, and then it's just like like loads and loads of figures and like posters and stuff.
Yeah.
um, so I think like I do a lot of like sort of visual visualization in my orchestrations, I guess, which is really funny because I'm not a very visual person. Like I really suck at art at like drawing and stuff like that. Um,
But it
but
influences
I don't know,
your composition
maybe it's
instead.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was definitely like seeing that like Miku, like the inside of Miku's bedroom probably is full of all those posters and things. Originally, the
Yeah.
background for that section was going to be that, but we wanted to kind of like convey the fact that like Miku was a princess in a castle more.
Mhm.
We thought that was more important, so we ended up kind of going with a balcony kind of shot, and you can see a little bit of her bedroom in the background. But uh, yeah, I think one day I think it would be amazing if we ever got the opportunity to like make a really full animated music video for this song or something like that, and bring all of these ideas to life because I would love that so much.
That would be wild.
Yeah, yeah. So chorus time. This is kind of the thing that the whole song grew from. So a lot of the composition was about kind of working backwards from here, like how do we build up to this point, and then how do we continue
Mhm.
from then on. Um, and yeah, it all came from that concept that I had of like, if Miku was a real sentient being, what would Miku's greatest desire be? Because that's what a good I want song is. For if you're not aware, Disney musicals follow this formula of having something called an I want song, which is what the main protagonist, usually a princess, sings to convey their deepest desire. And yeah, I was kind of thinking like, what would Miku's I want song be? What is the thing that she wants? And it came from this idea of like, she wants to be able to perform for people, but in the real world, and she wants to be able to feel the sensations of being in the real world and know what it's like to feel the heat of the stage lights and all that kind of stuff. So when I was coming up with these lyrics, I was thinking like, what are the things that Miku's missing when she's on stage? Okay, she sees that she's in front of an audience on the stage, but she wouldn't know what like the heat of stage lights feels like. She wouldn't know what the sensation of feeling the bass through her feet would feel like all these kind of things. And I wanted to make it feel like this really tangible, like thought process where she's trying to conceptualize these kind of tangible real world things that she knows exist, but she doesn't have a concept of. And I think there's something really like beautiful and a little bit heartbreaking about that. And I think that's what makes it so captivating to me as a concept. I could see Neuro singing this. Yeah, right? Like it's very like, I feel like we're in an era where there's obviously a lot of like anti-AI sentiment going on right now, obviously for many reasons, but we're also in an era where in some instances we're coming around to this idea of like, oh, thank you. You go 21 Bus? Thank you. Check the song out when you get home. Please do. I hope you like it. I think we're entering this era as well where we're understanding that AI in some instances can have some kind of emotional contexts to them. And I think it's where things like Neurosama is like really interesting in that concept. And I think it's also helping us reframe how we look at fictional AI as well, in how we kind of engage with Miku as a concept and in media, as someone who's supposed to be an android, an AI android. Back in 2008, that was a very far-fetched thing. In 2016, these things exist for real, 2026 even. So I think we're kind of in this era where we're beginning to grapple with concepts of emotional intelligence and some basic form of maybe sentience in AI and robotics and things. So for me, I think it kind of hits harder now than it maybe has done in the past for those reasons. But yeah, let's have a listen to the chorus. And then especially like, I really love how with your composition, Daryl, I love how you're able to just dynamically move through, like we've just had this big build up beforehand and you're able to bring it right down to this really soft place. So I'd love to hear, I'd love for you to talk us through that.
I wanna shake for the bass reminders. Just dreaming of feelings I only pretend I can't comprehend what it's like to taste the rain on your tongue or touch the heart of the one you love. This world is not enough for me to feel something as real. 君の世界で
What are your favorite elements of the chorus?
Well, I really like the harpsichord. I feel like that was a really good decision to include. Makes it feel very princess-like. But I think sort of it's really like a lot of building up of the textures. Like, we've got the strings coming in, sort of swelling. And this is really where I got to kind of indulge in that whole 1950s, and 60s kind of golden era of Disney soundtracks. Oh wow, you guys boss just gifted 5 subs.
Oh wow,
Or
thank you for the
membership.
gifted
Sorry,
subs.
I'm on the purple site.
Thank you for the gifted
Um,
memberships. That's so kind.
but yeah, you'll notice like the strings have a lot of those like kind of swelling accidentals, like the da, 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 right? And I feel like I guess in my mind, Miku's she has kind of access to like the entire archive of the internet or something, and it's just
Yeah.
like, she's kind of picked up on like what music represents sort of these like sweeping romantic yearning feelings, and has sort of landed on like, yeah, 1950 soundtracks.
Yeah.
um, and I also really want to call to attention the first time that she sings what was the exact line? The da, 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 for the world is mine motif here. What was the lyric there again?
The world is not enough.
The world is not enough. Yeah. Um Sort of the chord progression that we're using there was a very intentional decision, because when that same part reprises at the end of the song, it feels a little bit different, and if you guys compare that, then you'll kind of hear where we're going for. But this time around when she sings, um, you know, this world is not enough. Um, it's got a bit more of kind of this. I'm not sure what the word for it is. Like um, aching feeling, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a sort of like that feeling you get in your heart, like when you. This is the closest thing I can think of. Like when you miss someone, and it's just impossible for you to see them anytime soon, and then like that feeling in your heart of kind of like swelling aching. That's sort of what that chord felt like to me. The one underneath that part of the song,
Mm.
underneath the this world is not enough.
Yeah. And I think in the second chorus, that feeling evolves into just like
Hmm.
complete, almost like a desperate yearning, almost. It's like
Yeah.
the furthest point you could take that emotion. And that was a big challenge of this first chorus, was holding back a little bit and being a little
Yeah,
bit
definitely.
restraintful. Because it's very easy for such a dramatic melody to just like give it everything all at once. But we
Hmm.
were like, no, 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 no. Like we have to give the listener some, but the biggest
Hmm.
payoff is going to be this exact moment at the end of the second chorus, and we have to
Yeah.
like hold back for that. So,
Yeah,
um,
because I remember the first chorus originally did sound more like the second chorus, but then, when we were in the process of like finalizing the orchestration, um, we did kind of realize like the second chorus doesn't feel big and like grand and like yearning and romantic enough, and it's
mm,
because the first chorus by comparison is, just about the same scale.
yeah, yeah, and that melody against that chord progression thing as well. This is a thing that me and Daryl like very specifically wanted, this exact like melody over that exact chord progression, because we have talked before about how it's a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a cliche, because it's not, you don't hear it like all the time, but it's like it's a thing that like in songs where you hear it, it's like one of the most like powerful pining kind of resolutions you can get,
Yeah.
where you've got these chords. It's usually kind of like on a major seventh, sometimes on a ninth, and even like a sharp 11 chord, like just that resolves downwards by into the next degree of the scale. For those of you who want to get really nerdy about the theory of it, but songs that use that, and these are this song in particular was one that like when we both realized we both loved the songs, we were like, oh my god, no one ever talks about the song. But it was uh If We Hold On Together, right, by Diana
Yes.
Ross,
Hmm.
which was the theme song for Land Before Time, which was
Hmm.
like formative child like film for me.
Yeah.
Um, and that song in particular, I associate with that film. I think it's one of my earliest memories of crying at a movie. I think it was being like 3 years old
Yeah.
watching Land Before Time.
That checks out. I was like 7.
Yeah. So, we wanted to like, we were basically like, we need that, right? We need to do that exact same thing. And also,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Falling Slowly from Once the Musical as well.
Oh, yeah.
Also does the exact same thing on the time.
Yeah.
Which
Specifically in the Land Before Time song, it was the part that goes like, "Dreams see us through to forever," and just
Yeah.
shatters
Yeah.
my heart every time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so beautiful. And it worked perfectly for this song. And then we get the Kimi no Sekai de, which is based on that world is Mayan motif. And verse 2, we wanted something that like has more energy to it, that shows the excitement of like, this is now Miku daydreaming about being in the real world, and she's thinking of all the things she would want to do. And to me as well, in my head, this is also potentially foreshadowing what Miku would end up doing in her story if she ended up going to the real world. So, and we have this like amazing, beautiful art to accompany it too.
Just for one day, I get lost in a maze of straight lines. But I find my way with a stranger who could become my best friend. We will go to the
So, we're talking about the Land Before Time movies. I used to collect those too. I don't know what number I got up to. I think I had at least 9 or 10. I was obsessed.
No, there were more than like the first like 3.
Oh yeah. The like straight to VHS ones. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
That was the good stuff. Very different movies to the first movie. Not a hint of Spielberg in sight.
Oh my goodness.
But I still remember, oh my god, I have some of those like songs. My mom is in chat. She remembers she remembers me listening to all of those as well, apparently.
Hello, Riku's mom.
Hi, Mom. Thing you want to do. All the rules that grown-ups make, they don't apply to you. You can splash in all the puddles and gulp and slurp and swig. Things are better when you're big.
Why does it sound vaguely familiar?
It might have been in 3. If you've watched the first 3, then you might know it. I have not listened to that song since I was maybe 7 years old, and for some reason I can still remember every single word, and that's crazy.
This stream is unlocking core memories.
It really is. Anyway, Miku. So
Yeah.
there's
Miku's a princess, not a dinosaur.
that's the next song.
That's amazing.
So compositionally, this was something. This was an idea that came up whilst we were kind of together in person. But in this verse, we're kind of all building up to this moment at the end of it, where Miku says, "But as the clock strikes at 12, I'm all by myself." And we wanted to capture that feeling, that Cinderella-like feeling of like, this daydream that she's having isn't real. It's like she can sit in this daydream about being in the real world, but at some point she has to wake up to her virtual reality and realize that it's not real. And so we were like, I can't remember exactly how the idea came up, but we just had this light bulb moment of being like, what if we had a clock striking 12 in the background and it actually hits the 12th strike just as she says, but as the clock strikes at 12. So we build up to it throughout the whole verse. And we start it off by giving the classic sort of traditional clock chime. I have no idea where that clock chime comes from, or who wrote it. I assume we don't have to pay royalties for it. It's probably hundreds of years old. But the ding dong ding dong ding dong ding dong. So listen out for that in the instrumental.
I get lost in
Here it is. So you get the first part of it there. And then the second part. And now the clock's chimes start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're so clever, Daryl.
Yeah. We clicked a little too hard with that. And I remember that moment of like, we should add in the clock chimes, and then like, because we weren't sure if it would actually work. We were like, oh, like it could work. It could also sound really stupid. And then I remember like just placing the clock chimes in the song, and then we listened it back, and then I distinctly remember looking at each other and being like, yep, this is this is making it to the final cut.
We popped off, like we actually did. We had like, I remember you got out of your chair like when it happened.
I did.
Like you stood up, the chair like flew across the room almost. Like you were like, let's go.
That sounds like me.
It was one of those moments. It was one of those moments where it's like that whole process would have not have happened, I don't think, if we were doing it remotely, because it was completely
Yeah, I
down to the
agree.
fact that we were just like bouncing off each other's ideas in that space.
Mhm.
And like we wouldn't have come up with that, I think, working separately. So yeah, so cool. I kind of wanted to also just like lyrically get across this idea that like Miku's just been like on nerd Twitter for like the last however many years. So like all the things that she wants to do in the real world are just all based in like Akiraba. She wants to go to Maid Cafe. She wants to go to karaoke. She wants to go to the arcade.
Valid. I want to go
She
to a
wants,
cafe now.
yeah. She wants to get a high score in all the rhythm games. But then like after all the nerdy stuff, I wanted to bring it to a very kind of like back to that kind of a tangible thing of just like stuff that we take for granted, like feeling the sunlight on your skin. Like, what does that feel like, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we have this massive crescendo as Miku kind of gets pulled back into her reality of the fact that she's not in the real world, and this exploding of emotion. So we get the second chorus. There's some lyric changes here, and the intensity has definitely been ramped up. So let's listen through. Yay.
Yippee.
So let's compare that note, that really important note that we were talking about from verse 1 to verse 2 then. So we had the world is not enough in verse 1. So there's definitely like loads of longing in there. But then we take it up to a note that's kind of on a higher harmony of that original melody. Yeah. And it's just that
Yeah.
perfect kind of progression from the first chorus to the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to like convey this idea now of like a Miku who has kind of this feeling of like nothing left to lose, you know, like she just wants to go all out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in that first chorus, it's like just about I want to feel the heat of stage lights, I want to feel the bass through my toes. It's just these very mundane, tangible things, but like in chorus 2, it's like I want to belt till I've got no voice left, you know, like I want to ache from my
I
head
really
to my
love that
toes.
progression that you made with lyrics. The way you
Yeah.
built up the lyrics, I think, were like, it really brings that second chorus home.
Yeah, I think so, because, you know, she's just gone through this journey in the second verse where she's daydreaming about all the things that she loves and then having that realization that she can't. And there's now a desperation, you know? And then again, like I really just I loved putting in all these little juxtapositions of like, it's something that I guess is a big theme of this song is like juxtaposing the mundane with the like deeply emotional. The things that I guess as normal humans we take absolutely for granted, you know.
Definitely.
And here you have that like I just need to know what it's like to give Mochi a bite. Again, she's a weeb, so she wants to try. She wants to try mochi. I don't blame her. It's really good. But then that's followed by and fall in love in the sweet starlight, which is like that. You know that's something that a lot of us dream we could have. You know, that's a dream that I think we all relate to. So you have this kind of like very mundane thing that everyone's like, well, you know, we can eat whatever we want, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But that's on to Miku, that's on the same level as like falling in love. Because she doesn't have a concept, a
Yeah.
true concept of either. And those things have the same level of importance. And that's kind of what I think was where I was going with it. As well as just getting like a little cheeky Starlight in there, you know, the Starlight and Wonder. The Starlight, just, you know.
Oh, shucks.
Well, you know, I've been putting that word in a lot of songs since Astro Girl, so, you know.
True. It's a good word.
It's a good word.
Why else would I use it as my name?
So, yeah. And I think that all kind of like pays off at the end, lyrically and gosh, the orchestration is just like the most like heart tugging it possibly could be here. And I think it's like we earn the kind of explosive bombast of the arrangement for this last chorus, I think, by giving the slow build throughout the composition, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
What are your favorite kind of compositional moments of this last chorus?
Gosh, I mean, that that whole last chorus is really just me like being very self-indulgent, so it's hard to pinpoint, but um gosh, should we have a quick listen?
Yeah, of course.
'Cause
Yeah.
And also, I never really realized it until like sort of listening with like a fresh set of ears, because I haven't like really dissected the orchestration of the song since we finished working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I feel like the percussion, especially the timpani, is actually doing quite a bit of heavy lifting here to kind of set the tone. Because I think we've used percussion pretty sparingly
Mm.
up until this point, but now you've kind of got the timpani, really, really, really playing loud, accenting all the big moments, and I feel like I feel like that combination of timpani and strings is like possibly my new personality trait because it's just so good.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the real defining differences of orchestral music to kind of popular music is the
Mm-mm.
the difference in how rhythm is used and percussion is
Right,
used.
right.
And it's something that even in a
'Cause
lot,
I guess in pop music, right, you kind of like percussion kind of serves the beat more than
yeah,
anything else.
yeah, and
Whereas
the
in orchestral music, it's got a bit more of a musical role, I think, right?
yeah, it's in popular music, a drum beat and a bass line and a drum beat together are essentially like the foundational building blocks of most popular music. And even pop music that doesn't have like drums or bass in it is still based on grooves that follow similar patterns of accents on 2 and 4, like where the snare drum would normally be
Mm-mm.
and that kind of thing. And a lot of orchestral works in kind of popular culture often still fall back on like, yeah, but we need a drum beat, we need a drum groove kind of thing. But working in this context, you're right. It's like percussion is used very sparingly in orchestral work sometimes. And it is really about punctuating the most impactful and important moments, and creating that impact. So that timpani and the cymbal swells, they're barely in the song, but when they're used, it's
Mhm.
like it's the emotional like
Yeah.
intensity is like wow, it's huge there. I wonder if this song is like the first Miku Expo Song Contest finalist to not have like a drum beat in it.
I wonder.
Hmm. It's really interesting because you just don't hear much of this in kind of Vocaloid music, which was basically why we wanted to
Right.
do it, right? Like, it was kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's obviously a lot of orchestral arrangements of Miku songs, but I'd never heard a orchestral Miku song written in this kind of way, where the orchestra is written just as an orchestra, without a kind
Mm.
of a groove, like a pop groove underneath, and it's written
Yeah,
idiomatically for
I don't think
orchestra.
I've heard either.
And it's a big risk,
Could it
really.
be?
Like, like but it paid off in the contest, and I think when you take part in competitions for like songwriting competitions and things, I think you have to like take big swings, and if you
Mm.
want to stand out, I think it's important that if you can do something that you're really good at doing, that's like completely unique and will stand out from everyone else, I think that gives you the biggest chance. It's something that I've learned from like working in like Eurovision stuff for the last 5 years. And then with Honkai Star Rail, Multiverse Vistas competition with Rita. And now with this, like it's something that holds true for me very much so. Is like you want to be able to show something that is going to stand out from a crowd when the judges are going to be listening to like hundreds of applications. And
Yeah. And I mean, we talked about this before, beginning the process of writing the song. It was sort of like, of course, we'd love to win, right? Miku Expo, obviously. Um, but I think like sort of the deeper artistic motivation was to just, kind of do this thing with Miku that hasn't really been done before, as far as we're aware. And really just make something that we're proud of.
yeah,
That is very Starlight and Wonder at its core. And I think we did that.
yeah. I mean, I think this is like one of the songs that I think I'm most proud of, I think, in my whole life.
Oh, me too. Me too.
It's really up there. and just to have been acknowledged in Miku Expo Song Contest is just that extra kind of icing on the cake where even if we
Yeah.
hadn't have placed, I'd still be so proud of what we did here. And then
Hmm.
that,
Yeah. We'd
but
still be
like,
here brain rotting about the song
yeah, for
right
sure.
now.
But then it's that times by like, 5 because we got to work with all these amazing other people on the song too. And first of all, because we've been looking through the video and watching it, shout out to Nikita. Do you know what? I always do this where I work with people, and when you talk to people on Discord and stuff, and you're just used to typing out their name and you've never said the name out in
Yeah.
person. So Nikta, Niqte. The links to everyone who worked on this, they're all in the song. They're also at the end of the video. I can put this a little bit bigger so people can read the credits. But for the music video, I mean, all of the effects work and the compositing work and just bringing life to all of the different elements that we have in this song, it's just like a stunningly edited video. And I had a lot of like input into how it was kind of done and structured, and I had a kind of outline that all the artists followed. And I think there was so much like there was kind of so much to do and to try and get right in the storytelling. Particularly, actually, I think we worked a lot on the beginning part of the song to really tell this story of like Miku's just finishing a concert, and you see her like disappear back into her virtual world. These little touches of like the fact that she's in shadow that kind of implies like that maybe like there's some unhappiness here about her performance. It's like these little subtle like editing decisions that I thought were so genius when Nikta kind of did them. All of the O1s that are kind of there, and she fades away in this kind of digitized effect and then reappears in her digital world.
Maybe explain things way.
And then you get this kind of dreamlike edit here as she's in her own like internal monologue. So yeah, there's just so much in the creatively in those decisions that's doing a lot to tell the story of the song. And I just love all these little like the sparkles and these digital like hexagon effects to make it look like she's in her own virtual world. And there's like this screen tone effect as well that makes it look a little bit comic booky. So yeah, really happy with all that stuff.
Yeah, the team cooked so hard.
Yeah, they really, really did. So then, we had after that, let's show off some of the artwork. So we were lucky enough to work with the incredible Suika, who uses a very unusual kanji for their name. So I would recommend that you click on their link. It's Suika_01, I think, on Twitter. But we were looking through so many artists on Twitter to try and find someone who could capture the Miku that we really wanted to be captured for this video. And this is just stunning. Like, all of these designs are original. So this idol outfit is completely original. And has the motifs of her like princess like thing. So she's this idol princess. Gosh, I love
Just
it
love
so
the way
much.
they drew the expression. Like
Yeah,
she she looks so starry-eyed and like full of like wonder and whimsy.
yeah, right.
Like look at her, look at that cheeky little smile.
And then we have her more kind of like contemplative princess outfit here, which was kind of used for those moments on the balcony mostly where and for all the moments in the lyrics where there's all the yearning is going on, that's kind of where we use this image. And I think this is like the key art that we use for the album cover as well. And it's just so detailed, the ruffles on the dress. And it still feels like a little bit idol outfit like, whilst also being a princess outfit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I also took the photograph that was used in the background for the cover art.
Yeah. Yeah, so the cover art, the stars in the background, that's Daryl's photography. And I just like made it green. I made the stars green or teal.
Made it Miku colored.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Miku Galaxy.
Yeah, and that was done because like when we found out that our song had an honorable mention, we were like, oh, they asked us for some like key art, and we were like, quick, okay, we got to get something together. And I think we were already speaking to Suika about doing art for the MV. So I was like, could you like quickly just like do a half, like a waist up image of this key art that they were already working on, and just render out like a waist up version of that we can use for the key art. And we had Spirit Snare on the logo, and I was like, Spirit Snare, could you do you reckon you could do this logo in like 2 weeks? And then I was putting the artwork together, and I was like, I'd need to just find a background or something. And I was like looking up for like stock photos, like royalty free photos of like starry skies and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not feeling it with any of it, because we've got this like bespoke key art and this bespoke logo, and then using this like stock photo just doesn't feel right. Like, well, how do I get like a personalized like star background? Where would I get that from? It finally clicked, and I was like, Daryl!
If only you had a friend who was really hyper fixated on stars and taking photos of them.
I was like, Daryl, you have like astral photography, right? You've taken photos of stars? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, quick, listen to everything in this album art. And yeah. So yeah, and then we have the Miku in the real world, who was like trying to hide her identity, a little bit like Prince and the Pauper kind of influenced for this.
She's not doing a great job of it, but
yeah, she's not hiding it well, but you know, she's very naive. This is her first time in the real world. She thinks she's going to blend in looking like this.
Look at that starry-eyed look in her eyes.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
so
she's
full of hope and wonder.
she's just seen a sign for a maid cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like a weeb in Akihabara for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely relate.
I can relate. Although I'm slightly more Ikebukuro pilled, but
that's fair.
But Akiba is the classic, isn't it? I want a figure of that Miku in the cloak. I mean,
oh gosh,
wouldn't that be amazing to have a figure of this one day? So yeah, we have Spirit Snare's logo as well. Spirit Snare, the logo goat in the VTubing world, really.
Yep.
Spirit Snare has done logos for a few of the songs that I've done in the past. So Chikutaku, Astro Girl, all of those logos were done by Spirit Snare. And also Under the Stars and The World Outside too. So I'm a massive fan of their work. But this was something quite different for them. Something they'd not done too much of in this kind of less VTuber looking thing, and more trying to capture a Disney vibe. And like they just, I mean, they understood the assignment, right?
Yep.
Like it's perfect.
The goat.
It's perfect. It feels like a movie. And then we have these beautifully detailed, expansive backgrounds by Lesia. I'm gonna bring them in front of us actually, because like you just have to see the detail in these.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
the actual file size images for these things is massive.
I remember like when you asked me like, "Oh, have you heard of this artist Lacia before?" And I was just like, "Oh, yes, 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 yes. Oh my God, yes, my goat."
Yeah. And this is the crazy thing, right? So Lacia, look, actually, you know what we were talking about? The inside of Miku's bedroom with all the figures and posters and stuff? They're there. The album is there. I've never even noticed that. Oh my God. The actual album cover is there in her
Oh my
bedroom.
God. Her
Hold on.
attention to detail is just something else.
Look at that. And you've got these photos on the wall as well. There's a standee of Idol Miku, of our Idol Miku. Oh. It's just so beautiful, so stunning. And yeah, the crazy thing is that excuse all of my terrible resizing and everything. How does OBS? I'm gonna put it behind us now. The crazy thing about it as well is that like I was searching for background artists and was struggling to come up with options, and the options I was finding were kind of outside of our budget as well, and so it was tricky. And the algorithm just put like an image of like Lacia's art in front of me on my timeline, and I was immediately like drawn to the background because I was like, oh my God, the background detail of this picture is amazing. And so I messaged her and I was like, do you do background like commissions? She was like, I've never been commissioned to do backgrounds before. It's not really something I do. But I sent her a demo of the song. She was like, this is stunning. I would love to do backgrounds for it, but I don't know if I'm good enough. And I'm like, I think just from the images of yours that I've seen, I think you're good enough. But like,
And we'd actually worked together before, so it was
yeah,
it was a very like small world moment.
yeah, because then I was like, well, okay, I don't really know this person. I don't know, if this is when you don't know someone you've not worked with before, it's kind of tricky. But so I messaged Daryl and was like, do you know this person? I think you're following each other. Have you worked with them? And Daryl was just like, oh my God, yes, they're amazing. And I was like, okay, I think we found our background artist, because yeah. Now, like
People are
these
talking about in your world merch.
Oh,
I
can you
mean,
imagine?
I can you imagine like a 7-inch vinyl of the song? Oh my God, I think I'd cry.
Very okay, vinyl.
Hey,
Hello.
I can start that conversation.
Well, it all depends on, the song has to find its audience, and if there's an
Yeah.
audience for it, then we can think about those things, but
Mhm.
not taking those things for granted at the moment. So that was the balcony of Miku's castle, and then this is the Akirabara inspired background. And again, just that you might think this is a photo. You would not be, weird for you to assume that this is a photo. It's not a photo. I'm going to show you some of the behind the scenes of these in a sec. But like, this is a 3D modeled environment that Lacia built and then painted over the top. Like hand drew 2D details over the top. It's also drawn, yeah. But it's actually modeled in 3D. It's a 3D environment that you could actually you could make into a game. But the 3D environment is quite basic in terms of its detail, because she then hand draws the detail over the top. And that's what she did for this background, and also the stage background as well. This stage is also a 3D modeled environment that Lacia then hand drew details over the top of. And it's just like crazy to comprehend to me as someone who is not an artist or a 3D artist. Just the work involved in all of that is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yep.
Lacia
Thank
is
you,
amazing.
Alicia, my
Yeah.
queen.
Everyone go and give her some love and confidence for her abilities, because she was almost too humble for how good she was. I'm going to show you now the works in progress that Lacia sent me, so I can prove to you that this is an actual like modeled thing and not just like a photograph, right? So like you could look here, right? Insane. It's a 3D environment. And you can see here with some of the detail taken off it a little bit, you can see the kind of 3D modeling for the tree and the buildings and the kind of like the rough texture work that's in it there, that all of the then detail was added on afterwards.
I want to walk through that street.
Right? I need some more angles of it here. Crazy. We could turn In Your World into a game.
Imagine.
And then this is the stage. Look at the stage. Hey, what if we could use that
Really
for like
freaking good
fantastic
stage.
reality or something?
Oh my God, imagine.
It's crazy. And I love like in that stage as well, like all of these like castle turrets and castle banners were like added to make it still feel like it's all thematically tied in like so well together. Yeah. So that was our incredible art team who brought the MV to life. All of them are incredible. And Suika as well, to go back to Suika's art, like it's just a privilege to work with someone who is actually quite a prominent artist in the kind of Japanese Miku fan art community, and I believe has even done a bunch of official art for Miku with Krypton for certain events and things. So to work with someone of that kind of high caliber was amazing. But again, like Suika was so humble and was so like, I'll try and do my best to do justice for your song. I hope I will be able to. And I'm like, come on. But like, I love just being able to work with people like that who are so incredibly talented and yet so humble and down to earth. Because they're just, you know, people like that are always so easy to work with. They're so open to ideas. And you're able to make something really special that everyone feels like equally invested in. And I think that was something that was really important to me, is that I wanted our whole team to be as invested in this as each other, you know, that we all felt like we were making something special. So, and I think we did, right?
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. So thank you for tuning in for about 2 hours. Wow. It's been a long stream.
Wow.
Please.
It's a good song. There's a lot to yap about.
Heck yeah. Thank you for joining in for the first ever Starlight and Wonder podcast. We're really hoping to kind of make a semi kind of regular thing of this, where we talk about the music we're working on at the moment, and also just, I don't know, general yap about music and things.
Yeah.
I'm going to put some links in the chat for you to go and follow. So please go and stream. In Your World.
We have to get finals of your work. There is a Music Box of Fate vinyl still available for pre-order. It should be shipping out soon, so you'll probably want to get on that soon.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about In Your World. We'll have to see. But
we'll see.
The Music Box of Fate vinyl is absolutely a thing, and if you want to get on that, order one of those soon. So yeah, please go and stream In Your World and watch the music video. If you've not already seen it, I'm going to put the music video link in the chat as well. And I wonder if I can quickly find the Very Okay vinyl link for people.
Oh,
I've
just linked it in chat.
Oh, thank you, Daryl. Thank you. So You're so adorable. Are you a couple? So, about that, Daryl is actually my long lost great grand aunt, who we reconnected together after we both found out that I was lost at birth.
Yeah.
I was put on a little space pod because I was born with Riku syndrome, which was incurable at the time. And so they put me on a pod into outer space
Pray
with
for
like
the soul.
time dilation stuff. So that hopefully when I landed back in on Earth, there would be a cure for Riku syndrome. Unfortunately, there still isn't. I'm doomed to be Riku until I die. So, but yeah. So as it happens, through all of that, Daryl is actually like my great grand aunt, who's also maybe my great grandniece at the same time. And I'll let you ponder how.
This is all to say that
Typical Riku answer.
no, we are not romantically involved.
No, we are not. We are absolutely not. I may be somewhat effeminate, but I am far too male for Daryl's tastes. I'm also married. That's important.
Yes. Not to me.
No, not to my great grand aunt / niece. That would be weird. That would be super weird.
Yes. Also, Riku's wife is very cute and very lovely, and she makes amazing food.
She's the best.
Yeah.
By the way, do not ship people. It's weird. I mean, we're just going to make a joke about it every time it happens. Don't apologize.
Yeah.
It's totally fine.
I'm just making each time.
Don't apologize. Honestly, it's fine. Like this happens a lot, and we just make a fun bit out of it whenever it happens. It's totally fine.
We've just sort of accepted that it's going to happen.
Yeah. It doesn't help that we match like we're like these like inverse color,
right?
like blue and yellow and white situation kind of going on.
Yeah, with stars.
With stars.
And gold accents. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's a slightly similar thing with me and Rita as well, where we also both look like we're probably from the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and Mousy did point out that we look like we'd probably be from the same anime, right? Which is true.
Yeah.
Which is true. So, yeah. Please enjoy in your world, stream it, recommend it to your friends. If you have friends who are into Vocaloid music or into musicals and stuff, like, then we appreciate you spreading the word. We appreciate you sharing things on Twitter as well. Obviously, neither of us have a particularly big profile of being Vocaloid producers, and even though we have our own kind of followings from the VTuber stuff, the algorithm doesn't like it when you try and do something new. And the Twitter algorithm just had that whole big reset thing. So like trying to get this song out there is a challenge at the moment. So we appreciate anything you guys can do to help, especially if you really love the song too, like we do. So
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for streaming. And little drop before we go. Please look forward to Princess Miku, the musical, currently in development by Starlight and Wonder. At the beginning of the stream, I mentioned that there was another song that we were originally going to do, like a big band thing. We're still doing that song, and it's the second song in Princess Miku, the musical, that we will be releasing. So we are going to be working on a full concept album for this over the next couple of years, probably. Don't expect the full thing anytime soon. It's going to take us a while to finish it, but it's ongoing and it's in progress. So please look forward to more installments of Princess Miku, the musical.
The musical.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Oh, Daryl just left.
Oh, God. I've been vaporized. Here I am.
Just in time to say goodbye.
Just transatlantic things.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Goodbye.
All right, goodbye.